guys, first ride on the E-Ride Pro S, the 6 kilowatt version. I would definitely say in deep sugar sand, you can see the front end just like all over the place. This bike definitely needs more power, but for 6 kilowatts, it's pretty good. Definitely feels more peppy than a Sur Ron or a Talaria at the same power level, but nothing too crazy. Completely stock bike, stock settings for suspension, stock tires. Yeah, it's kind of struggling through this right here. Bet if I had a better tire, it would definitely do better. I'm just wide open throttle. Curious to see how hot the controller and motor is going to be. I'm literally full tilt on the throttle. And it's just, I'm like Flintstoning it right now. It's just barely getting through. The sand's deep. Floater sugar sand doesn't play. Try to head off into the trees here. It's a little bit more packed. We got a nice jump right here. I don't know if we're gonna be able to get enough speed out of this turn to hit this jump. We'll see. Looks like someone has already been through here. So the biggest thing that I'm noticing right now is the seat. Right here, I'm sitting right here, riding through all the sugar sand and everything like that. So I feel like I'm hitting this because of the curvature of the seat. You can kind of feel the plastic right here. So I definitely think a better seat would be good for this bike. Other than that, no complaints so far. Besides all the normal stuff, suspension and stuff like that. The rear shock actually feels pretty darn good. Yeah, there's no way I'm gonna get enough speed out of that. I might, but I don't know, that would hurt the case. Alright, so that's Sumo CJ. He's on a Talaria MX3 with a, I believe, a nano controller and a S-Spec motor, 72 volt battery. Or actually, he's on 60 volt right now. But he's a pretty decent rider, but he's usually very let's say very cautious or conservative when it comes to jumps and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll see what he does here. No way. Whew. I gotta hit it hard, but like that's, you gotta respring those YZ forks. You gotta clear the 30 feet. I know. Otherwise that's maybe like 20-25 feet, maybe. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to get enough speed out of the turn to clear that. Let's go over here. There's good jumps over here. Oh my god. Damn, it's so loose. Oh my god. I did not expect that to happen.
What, front end?
So you know what? No, the front end didn't wash out. You know what happened?
What?
Are you recording a video? That's
yes,
perfect.
I got it.
When I went over that little ledge right there, like step down, the sand, you could see how deep the tire was, the rut. Oh yeah. The sand just caught the front tire and like threw me over the bars. It was like instant stop almost. All right, so this is why we like direct mount stems. Now I have crooked handlebars.
Oh yeah, huh? A little tweak.
Oh, they're straight again. This bike still has a tip over sensor, so I gotta cycle the key on and off. It's all filled with sand. All right, let's go. Yeah, there used to be 2 jumps right here, but it looks like they leveled them out. Yeah. Here, follow me. Let's go over to the into the woods over here. Hey, let's do a test really quick. What power level are you running?
8 kilowatts, like 8.3.
8 because you're on a stock battery.
Yep.
Let's just wide open throttle from a stop here. You got a better rear tire. Let's see the traction difference. All right, 1, 2, 3, go. Oh my God, that tire's so much better. I mean, he is running a little bit more power too, but I'm literally wide open. Tire wheel speed is 18 to 20 miles an hour. When I get into the harder stuff, it actually starts going. Oh, here's a ramp. Little baby jump. And let's go off into here, into the harder pack trails. Oh, these are perfect for this bike. I don't have to be completely wide open throttle. Now it merges into a loose sand trail. I need to get out of this. Get out of this loose stuff. Woo. I'm tired.
It's so hard.
You want to swap?
Traction.
See how this thing does? This will be your first time off-road with this thing. Oh my God, feel the motor. That's pretty damn impressive. Motors, like, lukewarm, like it's hardly warm. You're gonna have to take your glove off. You're not gonna feel it at all. Controller's warmer than the motor. That's pretty impressive. Being that I've been wide open throttle on this thing
The whole time.
Throttle's live, be careful. It's literally like the same as the KO motor. Your Nano controller's hotter than the E-Ride controller. Oh yeah, I feel this thing feels way more peppy. Ready? Oh my God, it feels so much better with the rear tire. His forks are horrible though, oh my God. These YZ forks feel like they have no dampening. They just like throw you around everywhere when you hit bumps in a turn. I'm like literally scared to go over burners fast on this. Oh my God. CJ, you gotta get your suspension dialed, bud. The E-Ride suspension is literally better than this. I feel like I'm talking a lot of crap about his bike. But no, the forks definitely need to be sprung valves properly, or maybe the clickers just need to be adjusted. Not my bike, I've never really ridden this bike. But yeah, definitely not comfortable going fast on this bike.
Woo, that front end makes a difference. You gotta hold on.
Yeah?
Oh yeah, with this, it was like anytime you would hit something deep, the whole front end just wants to go, and then it kind of wants to.
Well, it's because you don't have the power and the traction in the back to keep the front end light, to cut through it.
So I
was literally just complaining about your front end.
Oh really?
It feels dangerous.
How does it feel dangerous?
It feels like there's no rebound or dampening. When you're going through turns and there's like little whoop sections in the turns, it like just throws you around everywhere.
Yeah, it tosses.
It's way too spongy.
It's because, yeah, it's too soft.
Yeah, way too spongy.
I gotta put different springs in it.
And I think you need to do more rebound in your rear shock. But having the better tires, big difference.
Huge difference.
I like this suspension better. Not trying to like make E-Ride sound like great or anything. I'm just saying.
The suspension is pretty dialed for what it is.
Yeah. All right, let's go in the back. Let's try to find Mr. Business. I'm pretty impressed that the motor's not even hot. That's pretty crazy to me. Oh wow, we're all the way on the other side over here. You know, just casually over here on a walking trail on our e-bikes. Can never do this on a gas bike. Just making our way over here to the back. See if we can go race this little kid. He's got number plates on his back. He's serious. In the loose sugar sand. This stuff is like literally worse than beach sand. There's no coral or shell or anything like that to make it a little bit more dense. Literally just sugar sand. It's quite horrible. Especially if you don't have good tires or good power. Front end is jackknifing. This stuff's a little easier because it's a little bit more packed. It stays moist with the trees, not the sun beaming on it all day. Big berm. Alright, my GoPro battery died using a Sumo CJ's GoPro now. Sport mode, we're at 37% battery. We're at a different spot down the street. It's just tight, technical, twisty, turny trails. It's a lot harder packed here, but it is still sugar sand, as you could see. What's up guys, Bullet with GritShift here. Today is our first time off-road testing the E-Ride Pro S model. This is a smaller model in comparison to the SS 12 kilowatt model. It has 17-inch wheels, still has a 72 volt battery, just less power. The suspension I believe is also different. So I'm not going to go over suspension and all the general stuff that other people have already made review videos on. I'm going to go over the things that I would typically upgrade on this bike if I was to build it out for my own personal race bike or just commuter bike, trail bike, whatever. The first thing that I noticed, as you could see in the clips before, we were riding through really deep, loose sugar sand. Obviously, the power and the tire for traction is a limiting factor here, but one of the main things that I noticed was the seat. The seat is comfortable, don't get me wrong. I would say right here you can see the seat curves up a little bit. Because it curves up, the seat tray is right here. The foam is just thinner right here. I thought initially that I was sitting on this, but I was actually just sitting like right here. So you could really kind of feel that sliding up to the front of the bike to go through berms and stuff like that. It's not anything that's like super uncomfortable, but if I was to build this out, I would definitely get a bigger, like more cushiony seat, so I can eliminate that, and also so the transition from here to this is a little smoother in case I did slide up. The post mount stem, I would definitely get rid of that. As you can see in the clips earlier, I dumped the bike. I went over just a little step down, like really it wasn't anything crazy at all. And the sugar sand was just so loose, the front end just dug in and almost brought me to a stop. I don't know if the video justifies that, but almost brought me to a stop. And I just went over the bars. The post mount twisted, which I've expressed this before to people. Post mounts are good to eliminate the risk of bending your bars and stuff like that, but you run bigger risk of snapping wires, because if this post mount twists like this, you can see your brake cable and everything already is kind of tight here. If it twists more than what it's already twisted right now, you run the risk of breaking your throttle wire or something like that. I'd rather ride with bent bars than ripped out wires and not be able to ride at all. So that's just my personal preference. The other thing with this bike is I would definitely upgrade the wheels. The tires on this bike that come from factory, I think they're pretty good in comparison to like the CST tires that Sur Ron and Talaria come with. They got decent knobs and stuff like that on them, but still it's a mountain bike tire at the end of the day. We did a comparison between Sumo CJ's bike. He has moto tires on his. Granted, he is running a little bit more power than this thing, but he had way more traction. You could just tell. So that's one of the other big things that I would do with this. Motor temp, surprisingly, wide open throttle through sugar sand was amazing. I'm not saying that to try to like build this thing up into an awesome bike, but I was thoroughly impressed. After going wide open throttle, motor was not hot at all. I felt Sumo CJ's F-Spec motor and it was relatively similar. The controller, however, was a little bit more on the warmer side, which is to be expected. And I checked Sumo CJ's Nano controller, and the Nano controller was a little hotter. Granted, he is running higher power, stuff like that, so it's not really an equal comparison. But I'm pretty impressed. Battery wasn't getting hot. I had no issues. I started the day at 100% battery. I already had 2 miles on the bike. Granted, the mileage is not going to be 100% accurate because going through sugar sand and stuff like that, wheel speed, I'm really going 5 miles an hour, but it's showing 20 miles an hour. I have 12 miles on the clock now. I'm at 34% battery. I was on sport mode the whole time, pretty much wide open throttle. Wasn't able to hit any like big jumps, but there was one jump that I definitely wouldn't clear with this tire setup and power setup. But I did hit it with the intentions of casing just to see how it felt bottoming out. The rear suspension setup feels pretty good. I'm not sure what spring rate is on the back right now, but stock I have the compression turned all the way down, so it's as least as possible, and it feels great. The front forks, obviously, the same thing with any Sur Ron, Talaria, anything like that. I would swap those out for sure, but the rear shock I think is pretty good. I think there's potential there. Obviously, upgrades would be better, more than likely. I want to show you the linkage because this is something before we had this bike that I question, like, how is the linkage and triangle set up? It doesn't look like it has a linkage or triangle. So I just want to show you how this is set up. I'll just lay the bike on the ground a little bit so you can see the triangle underneath. So you can see right here, the triangle mounts right here. You have the linkage all the way up here. It's a really odd design. I'm not really too familiar with this, but I'm curious. It looks like it would be stronger. I'm curious to see if it's actually better. So I think we gotta get this thing set up with actual moto tires. We'll probably do this next week when we have the SS model. That way we have a little bit of a higher power bike and we'll go out to the motocross track. We were gonna do that today, but I honestly don't feel like it would be worth it just because our motocross track is not really e-bike friendly per se, because the jumps are pretty big and a lot of the jumps are right after you come out of a turn, so you need the power to get out of that turn. So I don't think it would be really realistic for us to go out and jump this thing. I know you guys would love to see it, and I want to do it too, just to see what we could break on this thing, because we're definitely gonna break parts, and that's what we're out here doing. We're trying to break stuff so we can find these weak points and limitations. So that's all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys have any requests for any things that you want to see on the bike per se, or specific content, please let us know. we'll do our best to make more content for you guys so you guys can know more about these bikes.